Gaming girls an overview. Idealism versus opportunism. It is vital to understand that men and women approach love and desire in very different ways. Men tend to approach love idealistically. They seek a woman who represents their highest ideals of femininity. They project romance, meaning, and long-term hope onto her. Most men are eventually disappointed by the reality, sometimes severely, yet this rarely destroys their idealism. Men, not women, are the true romantics. Women, by contrast, approach love opportunistically. Rather than searching for an ideal man, most women form attachments based on the best male option currently available, and then attempt to improve their situation over time. Women are pulled by two competing forces: arousal, driven by sexual excitement toward alpha men; attraction, driven by comfort and security from beta men. Because of this split, female mating decisions are often openly self-interested. This pattern is commonly described as alpha fucks/beta bucks, an expression of hypergamy. The difference in how men and women approach love forms the foundation of game. Do not forget it. Pick your target. Once you understand the opportunistic nature of female attraction, it becomes important to place yourself in situations where a girl is able to choose you. While irrational self-confidence is useful, knowing where your best chances realistically lie is often the key to success. It is possible to date a very attractive, high-status girl, but in most situations, understanding your own sexual market value and approaching girls slightly below or near your level will give you the highest probability of success. There are many mitigating factors involved, especially at your age, but the goal of game is not to pursue only the most beautiful girls. The goal is to make yourself attractive to many girls, and then choose from among them the girls whose qualities you actually respect. Selection is part of power. Do not ignore it. Hone your presentation. Get cocky. By now you should understand that women do not make mating decisions based on how nice you are. Niceness is a beta quality and the opposite of effective game. It may attract polite attention, but it does not create sexual desire. Improving your physical presentation matters. Get a better haircut. Dress well, groom properly. But more important than any of that is changing the way you present yourself. Your frame should shift toward being cocky and aloof. Being genuine and friendly puts you in the friend zone. Being cocky and slightly distant gets a woman's attention and builds her interest. Add a little undeserved arrogance, a subtle air of mystery, a confident smirk, and a few sharp, playful responses, and you are already ahead of most men. That edge of confidence is what separates harmless from attractive. Understand the dynamics of approach. Talking to an unfamiliar girl for the first time is always potentially awkward. Doing it in an attractive way can be difficult at first, but it becomes easier with practice. It is important to understand the dynamics of the approach, meaning your initial introduction to a girl you are interested in. Even if you already know her, you should treat every approach as if it were new. First, remember that girls are easier to approach when they are not surrounded by a wall of friends. Whenever possible, create a brief moment alone with her. Second, have a few things prepared to say and be able to deliver them without hesitation. Calm, controlled confidence is ideal. Always have a reason to speak to her, even if it is a simple pretext to spend time together or get her number. Lastly, make sure you have somewhere to retreat if the approach goes poorly, and do not linger too long, regardless of success. Even if she seems interested, leave early and invite her to continue the interaction somewhere more private. Control the beginning, and you control the tone of everything that follows. Basic approach. Basic approach is not complicated. First, assess the indicators of interest, i.e., a girl may be sending you. If she seems open to an approach, stride confidently over and ask a simple question or make a casual observation. Examples include, "I've never seen you before. I'm blank. What's your name? That's a nice dress, shoes, bag, or necklace. It really suits you." Calling out something she clearly chose with care works better than generic flattery. When you get a chance, "I'd like to speak with you alone. Can I borrow you for a moment? I need a pretty girl to make someone jealous." None of these are real lines. They are simply basic openers. Good game means having many of them available and being able to deliver them naturally. Your initial goal is simple. Get her name and get a sense of whether she is interested in talking to you further. Being both interested and aloof takes practice, patience, and repetition. Tight mode, minimal expansion, same content and list, Kindle safe, light paragraph splitting only. Indicators of interest, basic flirting. One of the fastest ways to improve your game is to focus on girls who have already shown interest in you. Women rarely express this directly. Instead, when a girl is attracted to a boy, she will display often subconscious indicators of interest, physical or verbal cues that signal attraction. These are commonly referred to as flirting cues. Common indicators of interest include hair flipping, presenting the bust or buttocks, exposing the back of the neck, catching your eye, then looking away. Open body language, nervous laughter, unnecessary touching or invading personal space, using your name deliberately. These signals often appear even when a girl is not consciously aware of her own attraction. They are far more reliable indicators than what a girl says verbally. Learn to recognize them. They tell you where to invest your time. Pre-selection. One of the simplest ways to generate attraction is through pre-selection, the phenomenon where a man becomes more attractive to women because other women have already shown interest in him. When a girl sees that other girls find you desirable, she often becomes more interested herself, even if she does not consciously intend to. The approval of other women acts as social proof of your value. Walking into a party with an attractive girl on your arm is one of the fastest ways to draw attention from every other girl in the room. It signals, without words, that you are already chosen. For this reason, you should socialize with multiple girls and allow them to see you interacting comfortably with each other. As soon as you start dating, you become more dateable. Interest creates interest. Displays of high value, DHVs. A display of high value, or DHV, is any action or behavior that signals your worth to a woman through competence, status, strength, or social proof. One of the most effective ways to attract a girl's attention is by displaying these high-value traits directly. In most cases, this means demonstrating a talent or ability she can observe, showing skill and confidence, revealing accomplishments, or signaling esteem within your social group. Showing dominance among other men is a common DHV. So is visible success, such as driving an expensive car. Remaining calm and effective in difficult situations is a DHV. Confronting problems directly is a DHV. Physical strength, competitive drive, and visible competence all signal value. Your DHVs form your sexual resume. They are not what you say about yourself, but what you demonstrate through action. And the way you display them matters as much as the traits themselves. Confidence. The essence of a man's game is confidence. Confidence is inherently attractive, but it is not as easy to generate as fear or anxiety. At its core, confidence is simply the assurance of an outcome. It is the absence of uncertainty. Confidence is also communicated subconsciously. You cannot create it by speaking confidently alone. You must move, stand, and carry yourself with confidence from the moment you enter a room. Your confidence does not need to be based on your success with women. It only needs to exist in your own mind as you meet them. You can be confident about anything, about your future, about your direction, even about something as simple as knowing you will eat breakfast tomorrow. What matters is not what you are confident about. What matters is that you know how to show it. Approach goals. It is essential to your game that you enter every approach with a clearly defined goal. Do you want her name, her number, her time, her body, her commitment? Pick one. You can always adjust upward as circumstances allow, but you must know what you are trying to achieve before you begin. Your success or failure is measured against the goal you set, not against some imaginary standard of perfection. By defining your objective in advance, you reduce the risk of emotional collapse. You maintain control of the frame. You control the outcome. A man without a goal is easy to destabilize. A man with a goal cannot be easily shaken. Isolation. After a successful approach, you should have her name and possibly her contact information. If circumstances allow, you should then attempt to move her to a more private or intimate setting. This is one of the clearest indicators of a girl's level of interest. It can be as simple as, "Do you want to step outside for a moment?" Or, "Would you like to take a short walk with me?" The exact words matter less than the movement itself. Shifting the interaction from public to private is mandatory if you intend to pursue intimacy. Attraction grows in isolation, not in front of an audience. Remember, women love opportunistically. Give her the opportunity to choose you, in private. Escalation. Once you are alone, after isolation, you can begin to escalate toward a more intimate interaction. Attraction cues and flirting should continue. Without an audience, you can increase both verbal and physical intimacy. Move slightly closer to her, enter her personal space, maintain steady eye contact. Notice her scent, use suggestive but not crude language. Be verbally daring without being vulgar. Pay close attention to any challenges or tests she throws at you, and be ready to turn them into opportunities to move things forward. Listen carefully to any suggestive language she uses in return, as it reveals how receptive she is becoming. Always be prepared for the possibility of a kiss. The gas and the brakes. It helps to think of female sexual response as a balance between hitting the gas and hitting the brakes. Your alpha behavior and displays encourage her to hit the gas by triggering arousal and desire. At the same time, her natural caution and inhibitions are always looking for reasons to hit the brakes and reconsider. Much of game is learning how to press the gas while gently easing off the brakes. Make her feel safe, comfortable, and understood. At the same time, make her feel excited, curious, and intrigued. That balance is the ideal. Offer her good reasons to move forward. More often than not, she is already looking for them. The prize, sexual consent. The ultimate goal of all this effort is the enthusiastic consent of the girl to engage in age-appropriate sex with you. By refining your presentation and appearance, focusing on your displays of high value, and learning how to approach, engage, isolate, and escalate correctly, you place her in a position where she is able to freely choose you. That is the purpose of game. Whether your personal objective is a simple makeout, a casual sexual encounter, or the beginning of something more serious, nearly all successful seductions follow this same general path. At the end of it, the prize is not conquest. The prize is consent. Beware of the flaky. If a girl becomes uncomfortable or uncertain about her own feelings, she may suddenly begin to distract you with small objections or sudden changes of subject. This is often a test of your seriousness. If you allow yourself to be pulled off course by her flakiness, you lose control of the interaction. Sudden flakiness usually means she is struggling with her own resistance to intimacy. Stay focused on your original goal. If the flakiness becomes excessive, do not be afraid to walk away. One of the easiest ways to prevent this is to control the frame by offering limited, concrete choices. For example, we could go back to the club for another drink, or we could stay here and talk for a while. Which do you prefer? By presenting clear options, you often reduce nervous indecision and keep the interaction moving forward. The kiss. One of the hardest hurdles to cross with a girl is the first kiss. Once she kisses you, she has acknowledged the possibility of a sexual future with you. Many boys fail at this moment, leaving both themselves and the girl frustrated. Pay attention if a girl begins trying to isolate the interaction or escalate it herself. This is often her way of extending an invitation. Remember, if a girl is truly interested in you, she will not deliberately confuse you. Once you are alone, move gently into her personal space and observe her reaction. If she does not pull away, and instead remains close and receptive, she has given you permission to continue. This moment always carries some risk, but the kiss is essential before any further progress can be made. The best practical advice is this: lean in about 90% of the way, bringing your face very close to hers, and then stop. Force her to make the final decision by closing the last 10% herself. If she comes the rest of the way, you have your answer. If she does not, you retreat with your dignity intact. That final 10% tells you everything you need to know. The aftermath. The kiss is a pivotal moment in game. Either it goes well and opens the door to further progress, or for any number of reasons she decides that she is not interested. This happens. There is no way to fully predict a girl's reaction. Sometimes chemistry, sparks, or some small detail is enough to change her mind. A woman's own doubts can sabotage her desire even when attraction was present. Do not take it personally, even though rejection at this stage feels intensely personal. Because men are expected to initiate, we also carry most of the personal risk in dating. That is the cost of leadership. Ideally, the kiss leads to more. If it does not, you must accept the rejection, learn from it, and move forward. That is part of the process.